Hi, I am currently 3.5 years post LEMTRADA. So I've had my treatment and now I'm moving forward and I'm almost at the end of my follow-up blood tests and urine samples that I have to give. So I thought I didn't get a mic for my iPad, so I'm trying to talk in a voice like I would if you were right across from me, like talking to you. It might not work, I might phase in and out. I'm just going to give you a few updates on my condition. I have 0 scars, and as of last year, I actually have no more tremors. So as you can see, I have no idea how it happened. It just, one day, I didn't have tremors. And it was about as randomly revealed, I guess, that as when the tremors actually came. So that was 2018 would have been my 10-year mark on my MS, and I had tremors for 6 of those 10 years. So it's a lot of finding my way again with my movements, how I touch things, pick up things, all of those. They all come like an infant learning how to walk. So I'm just going to, first of all, I'm making this video because when I first found out about LEMTRADA, I tried to find a video on someone who had been on LEMTRADA for a certain period of time, so I could see that. I just wanted to see, okay, how do they do like a year after or 2 years after? So now I'm doing it 3.5 years after the final. So a couple of things I wanted to go through, because I noticed that on the MS blogs and information on LEMTRADA, people are maybe confused on this little thing. When we have taken our LEMTRADA, our immune system drops, like it's completely wiped out. So from then on, it's rebuilding. This is from day 1 on the first LEMTRADA, and then we have to do it all over again for the second, I think the second year, where we have 3 treatments and immune system goes down again. So this is just to let you know, I am 3.5 years post final. My lymphocyte, my immune system reading, it should be anywhere between 1.1 and 3.3. I think most countries have, they know those are the basics of your regrowth, and I am currently at 1.1, and it's been so long for me to even get to 1. I've been under for so long, under those numbers. I haven't actually noticed that it has made a difference in my movements, in my scars, because I've had a couple of MRs to determine if it's regrown, if it's growing and active in my brain, but it's been dormant, so that's a good thing. Yeah, so that I wanted to just kind of get out of the way. I do have another test coming up, but when last time I was in getting my test, my nurse had said, oh, my goodness, you're almost done. Yeah. So that's the nice thing, is that I won't have to go in for those anymore. Doesn't really scare me because I have been pretty consistently at the same rate, and so that's a good thing. And I was also going to address with LEMTRADA, because it is somewhat, there's some kind of chemotherapy base to that. So losing hair was really kind of came to, that could be a side effect. And now for me personally, I have lost a lot of hair. I don't know if I would say that is a LEMTRADA thing, because a lot of people who have taken it are not losing hair. So I can't blame my hair loss, which, yes, it's very long, but it's very thin. I don't really want to have to, I'm just losing almost, and if I was to just take my hand through it, I have a handful of hair. So I try not to take my hand through it, so I don't have to deal with that. My walking and my gait is good. I have to say though, I took a trip last month, and I haven't been using my walking stick or my cane, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try and use that this time, because my back was starting to hurt a bit the time before, and it was becoming quite painful and hard for me to walk, to the point where I had to really take it easy and take a break and then start again. So I said, okay, I'm going to take my walking stick. So I took that, and it was good. I used it. I had a bit of a situation where when I was walking, I didn't know, I was not aware that there was actually a step down around the corner, and I went to take a step down, and I had my walking stick, so naturally that hits the base of the ground, and when I went to use it, it didn't hit a base, it went down, and I was, arms flailing, ridiculously, probably comical or worrisome to people who were there, but I took a fall, and unfortunately my head sort of stopped the fall. My head and my hips stopped the fall. So that can happen, and I don't blame my walking stick for it. I do blame the fact that I have been I'm being reliant on it to determine where to walk and how to help me along. So all I could say to that, to anyone who is using weight walking aids, is to make sure you stay woke and stay aware of your surroundings. Even though you've got a walking stick, it doesn't necessarily stop the fact that there might be a step down or a rock or something to be in your way that you're not aware of. And if I was really seeing things properly, I probably would have noticed that, when you turn this corner, it's a step down. And so that's what I can offer you, is that be aware of your surroundings. Try to get some exercise on a regular basis. I seem to be around the same weight as I have been for a couple of years now. So I'm not gaining a lot of weight, but we're trying. And I have a nutritionist, and she's pretty adamant about getting me on a schedule, which I seem to falter off of if I'm traveling. So, yeah. But other than that, I don't know how far back I can... you can see me walking through. And that's all I can offer you, because there's walls and I don't have a port. Although I should have a go cam so I could move around and you can follow me. But yeah, so I just wanted to touch base with everyone who is going through this, and just to let you know all the things that I was afraid of with LEMTRADA and didn't think that it was going to help with, it actually ended up helping me with. I was not thinking anything was going to help me with my tremors, because it was just such a big part of my life. Having tremors and being able to adapt to life with tremors was just a huge thing for me. Oh, I do still have spasticity, so I will occasionally pick something up and this is like picking it up and just, it'll fly out of my hand, or I'll spill whatever drink. The thing with picking up and moving around and my fine motor skills, which is I can pick this up, but picking up coins, or for example the plug in my sink, it's very difficult for me to get my hands down to pick that up, and it amazes me how, but I see how those kinds of things have been taken away because I have MS. So those things, I guess, if you just go every day and try it and try and kind of get that, build up that muscle memory, you might be able to get through those things. There's a lot that I do and am able to do. I don't think about it as much because I'm able to do it. So yeah, just really think positively about the things that are going well for you, and go forward and think of, well, what else can I do today? What have I not been practicing with? What have I not been using? And work with that. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at 3.5 years post LEMTRADA. So yeah, good luck to everyone. And it's really a matter of hanging in there, and you can do it. You can do this. This is something that is meant to aid you, and we have that power. We have the power to be able to heal ourselves, and then you get a little bit of help from LEMTRADA, Galenia. I'm not sure of a lot of the treatments. Sorry, let me just give you a quick background. I'm at 14 minutes, so I was diagnosed in 2008 and did not receive treatment until 2012, which was the year that I actually got tremors, like full-on tremors in my hands, and my body was just a mess. So I had, they had suggested I go on Tesabre, and I went through the list of good and bad with Tesabre. One of the things that they test you for is your that kind of brain blockage can happen. They test you to know if you're JC positive or negative for that particular virus, and that's how quick it happens. It comes back. So I happen to be JC positive, so that's something that they say everyone has. You have JC in your system. Whether or not it's positive or negative is determined by a blood test. And I had that, and they send it away, so it takes a little bit of time. So I had that determined that I was JC positive, and I knew that that was a bad thing walking into taking Tisabray. I did, however, go forward. I began that treatment, and for 2 years, it was excellent and good for me, and I had no scars, no brain scars for those 2 years. After that point, the doctors were they were watching where my levels were, and they said, yes, after the 2-year point, we do suggest you go off of LEMTRADA now, or Tisabray now, because those levels on JC are raising. So I went off there, and they gave me the option to go to have a clean out, which was about 6 months. So period of having nothing. Have another MRI, and then they would put me on the option of LEMTRADA, or it's another. It was actually an oral drug, and so I looked up about each of them and the goods and the bads. LEMTRADA seemed to be the best thing. There was someone had been on LEMTRADA and had a video, so I was not going to find that, but it seemed that everything about the drug made sense to me. It made sense to me to wipe that slate clean and regrow. And so that's that. I'm just cutting it right here because I'm at almost 18 minutes. So, yeah, I will keep up with things. I have not. But the next update I do probably will be in 2020. So, yeah, good luck to everyone, and I will speak with you then. Hopefully I'll have a mic so I can actually not have to play around with my voice.